How's it going, guys? Back in the shed today. The A27 needs a part replaced. The over the top handle has a nice crack right about here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah. Nice crack there in the up the front handle. So that's going to get replaced today. Very simple job. All you need, you're going to need your bar tool, a T27 Torx driver. I'm going to happen to use this extension handle on a ratchet today. You can use the small one that comes with a lot of Stihl products. That will work just fine, but today we're going to use this one. So step one, we're just going to take the bar off to give us a bit better access to get the handle off. You can do it without taking the bar off, but it's a hell of a lot more fiddly, so I'm just going to take the bar off. And like I say in most of my videos, a small parts tray is invaluable for this kind of work because you're going to be taking out quite a few bolts. And one like this just came out of an old tackle box. Segmented, you can put your bolts in different spaces, so we're going to put the bar nuts up here just so they don't get mixed up. I mean, they're all very different, but never hurts. Right, bar and chain can come off. Now, to make life a bit easier for myself, I'm just going to take the bumper spikes off here, just so that I don't end up driving one into my arm or finger or whatever, which is not pleasant. I love this King Chrome set. I know it's not it's pretty commonplace within higher tools, but this is, this is the best set I've ever bought. And I dropped a nut. Alright, it's the best set I've ever bought, and it has, alright, the bit driver can accept the ratchet, just a little 1/4 inch for this one. I'm fairly certain they do make a bigger one, but I don't know. Alright, so I've got that off. Now we can get to work taking off the main screws. We have, in behind here, we can use the chainsaw tool to get it out, these rubber buffers, which are part of the AVS, which is anti-vibration system. So we can pull those caps out, and in behind these is your T27 Torx bit. And there's a cheeky one over here, which is usually the biggest pain to get out for whatever reason. Now you don't want to pry too hard, because up underneath, up here, is a rubber grommet. So you don't want to be prying on it and pulling on it and causing damage to the grommet. So just nice and gentle. If you have to pry it out, so you try and pry against the harder plastic, not the rubber. Again, this one's going to be a pain. I have done this job once before, and it can be a pain if you sort of don't know where everything is, because you can spend 2 minutes chasing nuts and bolts around. Wow. Oh, butterfingers today. Rightio, so we have quite a few to take out, quite a few Torx bits to take out. We have one in each of the rubber grommets, two on the, well, I really am a butterfingers today. Two on the actual outside of the handle, three inside the rubber grommets, and there's two underneath here on the back side of the handle. Alright, so I'll get those out and I'll get back to you. So I'm just getting around undoing all the bolts here. I've almost got them all loosened. I'll just give you a quick tip. Loosen everything first. I mean, it's not overly necessary, but it's sort of the opposite of what you do to put it all back together. When you're putting everything back together, you start by putting everything in, make sure it all fits, and then you torque everything down. Whereas when you're disassembling, I like to do it in reverse. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but the whole removal or installation is the opposite of the removal. So keep everything nice and consistent in your workspace. It makes your life a hell of a lot easier when it comes to doing this sort of stuff. You get yourself a rhythm and a routine as to what you do every time. It makes it easier if you have to, say, leave your job and come back another day. You know, if I've taken the handle out, I get a few bolts in and then all of a sudden have to leave. I know that they're all going to be loose, so that if for whatever reason I have to stop work and go and cut wood, I know that I have to go around and torque up all those bolts again. Is it necessary? Probably not, but that's what I do. So, just letting you guys know, that's the way that we do it here. Well, I do it here. And again, fucking butterfingers. Oh, something's wrong with me today. Move that off the bench a bit, off the edge a bit. Alright, we're almost done here. I'll keep you rolling. There's only 2 more nuts to undo. I'll get it to stay in there. Come on, you come here, cheeky bugger. Pain. It definitely is out, it's just not coming out of the hole. But that's fine. Alright, last one here. Alright, so I believe we're all out and ready to come off. So, when you're handling the chainsaw that doesn't have the top rail, the top foregrip attached, and be very careful because there's all kinds of hoses and rubber hoses that run between the bottom half of the saw and the top half, which are now completely sort of separate. They all sort of move independently. So you don't want to lift it up by this because there's a rubber hose in there that you're going to pull out. So even though it's awkward, grab it by the body itself to move it around. So take the weight off it and pull the handle out the back. And that's it. That's him there. This is our new one. Got the part number on top here somewhere. Just wait for it to focus in. There we go. 1127 790 1700. So the handlebar for this particular saw, which is the 029 Super. So you want to compare your parts always, no matter what it is, even if it's a spark plug. Compare the one you took off from the one you're putting on. Make sure everything's in the right spot. Make sure all the holes are in the right spot. Everything looks good to go for me. So we're going to go ahead with this and we're going to put it on. Just get this stubborn bloody Torx bit out. There it is, again on the ground. It's another reason it's good to keep your floor clean in the workshop, because if it's covered in wood chips, grease, oil, dirt off your boots, anything, it's going to make it a lot harder to find stuff when you drop it. Not if, but when you drop it. Right, so this one can go out the door and in the bin, and this one can go on. So, alright, installation, opposite of removal and all. Lift it up by the body, not by the back handle, because you will do damage. Lay it in, and it's that easy. Now we can go around and put all the bolts in. I won't make you sit through that tedious process. But all the bolts on this, all the bolts on that hold the handle on are the same, so you don't have to worry about making sure you get it in the right spot or anything like that. Just thread them in. Don't tighten them right up again. Alright, I'll stop the recording here so you don't have to sit through this nonsense, and I'll get back to you when I'm doing the final torque on all the bolts. Alright, we're back here, the handle's pretty much on. Just gonna give the final torque on all these. I don't even know if there are actual torque specs for these bolts, but just use common sense, guys. Like I was saying, no 3-foot pry bars, just nice and tight. I mean, you're only going into plastic, so there's no point in torquing the ever-living shit out of it. It's just going to do more damage than good. Now this one here can be tricky. It's tricky to line it up because everything else kind of locks in, whereas this one just kind of sits there until it's bolted up. So you want to take your time, make sure you line it up right, using a light to sort of shine. Whoa, again, butterfingers, fuck me. Using a light to sort of shine down through the hole to line everything up works really well. But yeah, so just take your time. You never want to rush anything in regards to these machines, because they do have a reputation for being very dangerous. I mean, I don't know any other tool except for maybe a circular saw or a table saw that can rob you of limbs as quickly. But the same as anything, you use common sense, you're not going to have any issues whatsoever. Alright, so that's on and it's good and tight. You want to check that it flexes properly where it should. You know, through all the springs and everything works properly. You get a good amount of flex in the buffers. And that's it, she's pretty much good to go. We're ready to put it back together here. So we'll start with the bumper spike, which we took off to save our fingers. So the last time I put one of these on, it ended up having to patch myself up because of the bumper spikes. Ended up driving one down between my finger and my fingernail, and that was not fun. Yeah. Didn't bleed a hell of a lot, but still was painful. Couldn't write anything for a week. So, get this to stay on there. Now the bumper spike bolts are different from the handle bolts, so you want to keep them separate. They're just a bit shorter. I'm fairly certain they're the same thread and everything, but you know, a bit shorter of a bolt. So again, just firm them up, and once they're both firmed up and it's sitting properly, you can give it a proper torque. And again, no 3-foot pry bars. We're not trying to. I'll probably actually use a bit of Loctite on there because they've come loose on me before. Anyway, next time. Alright, so alright, we can get the bar and chain back on. Now, normally I would flip the bar in this situation, but it got flipped when it was cleaned, and it hasn't been used since it was cleaned, so it came straight off the shelf, straight onto the bench. So this chain actually needs a bit of work because it's been sharpened very incorrectly, and one side of the teeth, well, one side cutters are longer than the other side cutters. So we'll fix that up here in a minute. I'll be doing a video on that, and I mean, it's very easy and sorry about that. It's quite easy to do if you sort of take your time, use common sense. But like they say, common sense isn't so common, so. But I'll take you guys through it anyway, even though I'm sure 90% of everybody out there could do it very easily. Just going to take the time and show you guys the way I do it, which is pretty much the whole basis of YouTube, isn't it, really? That's way too tight. Fuck me. What is with me today? That's like a, I don't know, you can keep track, like the 5th time I've dropped something. That'll do. I've got to fuck with the chain in a minute here, so I'm not too worried about the tension at the moment. Alright. Alright, so she's ready to go and cut wood again. Brand spanking new handle. I guess the appropriate thing to do now would be to pull this sticker off. Be careful when you're doing this too, you don't want to cut into the handle and end up having to replace this handle too. But she's ready to go. I'm just going to pull the sticker off here, and it will go back on the shelf until maybe tomorrow. I think we're heading out again. We've almost got our winter's work cut. I'm getting a fair amount of footage where I can to upload for you guys. But, yeah, we'll see how we go. And getting all that uploaded for you soon. I don't want to upload too much in one go. I want to sort of space it out a little bit. But yeah, she's good to go. Ready to go and cut wood again for another, hopefully another quite a few years before we need to replace that again. Well, that's it. Alright, well, thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you've been able to learn something from me. Not that I have a whole lot of knowledge, but you know, what little I have I do like to share. Alright, so thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you leave a comment. Call me a dickhead if you want, I don't care. But leave a comment, have a chat to me, ask me any questions you want. I'm always around. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I'm not quite over yet. I forgot to put the buffers, not the buffers, just the little caps back in. I'm not exactly sure what they do. I mean, I've run saws without them before, and I've never had any problems, but they were there when you took it out, so they should probably be there when you put it back. It's on this side. So as you can see down here, you can do this whole job without actually taking the bar and chain off, but I like to take it off because it makes it a bit easier. Now this one is always a pain to go back in, I don't know why. Right, so that's in, and now we're done. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.